Good people, what is going on? Another episode of the Uncle Podcast. I'm your host, Desmond. Thank you for tuning in. Wanted to just briefly talk about the free agency moves, free agency moves that have happened. They're technically trades, so it's not anyone who has just switched teams as far as, hey, contract ended and now I'm going to sign with someone else. It's all been trades and then extensions. Uh, DK Metcalf is now a Pittsburgh Steeler and signs a massive contract, 5 year, 150 million. And Miles Garrett has had a change of heart, and he is now going to stay with the Cleveland Browns. It's so funny because Eric Mangini on the show First Things First actually mentioned this either on Thursday or Friday that he felt he, Coach Mangini felt that Miles Garrett, felt he wanted to go to a contender, a different team, because he was only making about $18 million a year, and he thought that if his contract was bigger, that he would be a bit happier. And lo and behold, sounds like he was correct. Um, so it's interesting because people are looking at it like they wanted Miles Garrett to go somewhere else, and that they thought he would to kind of stand firm with his what he had mentioned during like the Super Bowl media week that he really wanted to go to a contender, so on and so forth. And I thought he was serious as well. And I thought that the owner of the team declining to meet with him would only harden his stance as far as I'm not, staying here. But yeah, Miles Garrett is staying in Cleveland. And like I said, DK is a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he signs an extension, so he's going to be there for his contract through for 5 additional seasons. It'll be interesting to see what happens with their quarterback. Number one, they don't have one under contract, if I'm not mistaken. I think Russ and Justin Fields are both free agents. Kenny Pickett, as we know, has been traded away. So they don't have a quarterback under contract, or one worth starting anyway. So now a lot of that talk is in Pittsburgh is number one, who's going to be the quarterback? And number two, what does it mean for the future of George Pickens? I think you can live life with both of those guys, DK and Pickens. I think that makes the how dynamic it changes the dynamics of that offense. You're now, with Pickens being a really good downfield vertical threat, and DK being a bit of that as well, and intermediate. Like DK, I think can do a lot with the football, whereas more of what Pickens does is kind of the deep balls. Um, it's interesting, and I think for the Steelers, depending on what route they want to go, which this leads me to believe they are looking to contend for the division, Super Bowl, and the AFC. I would seriously consider Sam Darnold and see if, like I said, I've mentioned on the channel before, can you get him for that Baker Mayfield contract? I think that's something that you could definitely live with. Other than that, potentially Aaron Rodgers. I've heard some rumors there. And then also, it sounds like they would like to have Justin Fields back, which who knows? I think those are all valid options. So we'll see. It'll be interesting, but the part for me personally as a Detroit Lions fan leads me to believe that nothing. We're not going to make any big splashes. I've seen some Detroit Lions accounts that have mentioned like, oh man, get ready today. The Lions are going to make a big splash. I've just moved on from that thought process because that's just not Brad Holmes. That's just not his MO. It's not what he does. He gets an A+ when it comes to the draft, and he leaves something to be desired when it comes to his free agency moves. Because at some point you've got to, in my opinion, make a big move to get an elite player to put you over the top. I think our roster, I think he's done a terrific job of building the roster, but we need that next piece to get us over that hump that we all want to do. So we'll see what happens. I think free agency is getting ready to officially kick off here in just a couple minutes. But yeah, so we'll see. Maybe by the time this drop this video, the Lions may have done something that blows my mind. But I'm not going to hold my breath on it. So we shall see. And yeah, that is it for me. Appreciate it. Peace.